Welcome to the Other Star franchise, the anti-fascist Star Wars podcast where a couple of Trekkies from the Star Trek fandom discuss Star Wars. We are about to get started watching the Star Wars shows, movies, and animation in chronological order, leading up to the release of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie later this year. So, I'm Fatheree, this is Taylor. Taylor, how are you doing?
Pretty good. I'm nervous to talk about Star Wars.
Why does that make you nervous?
We talk about Star Trek so much. I'm like, man, I'm a little bit... It's going to be a good journey of re-remembering all the things.
Yeah, just to give people a little background, Taylor got into the Star Trek fandom recently, but previously, years and years ago, she was a pretty hardcore Star Wars fan, and so this is kind of a return to simpler times.
Yeah, for sure.
You were saying on the Tex-Trek show, the show where we talk about Star Trek the other day, you were mentioning that you noticed that the Star Trek fandom was very different from the Star Wars fandom, like the people involved, the people you interacted with.
For sure.
You were saying that we're a lot nicer on the Star Trek side.
Yeah, definitely more forgiving and kinder.
Well, but we both have a love of Star Wars that goes back to our childhood, so... this is a different format from how we do our Tex-Trek show. For the people watching, you might notice that we're on the same screen, and we are actually going to be kind of experimenting with our format a little bit over here, but we'd like to just talk about our fandom for Star Wars, how we got into it, some of our favorite things, and then after we do that, explain more about the chronological watch/rewatch we are doing the next few months. Mm-hmm. I guess the motivation for me to go ahead and jumpstart this show is kind of something that I was thinking about doing, but there is a new Star Wars movie coming out this year with The Mandalorian and Grogu that neither of us, we haven't even seen the trailer for it, so
yeah.
We're not going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about everything else in the build-up to it.
Every time we go to the movies and it comes up, we go, la, la,
yeah,
la,
we
la.
cover our eyes and ears from the trailer. Yeah, we don't want to know anything about it. We want to go into that blind. I noticed a lot of people are not very enthused for that movie, though. They're like, this should have just been like another season on Disney Plus. Why are they making it into a movie? And I don't know. Maybe we'll like it. Maybe we won't.
Man, I miss movies, so I'm excited to have a movie because I have a hard time committing to a full season of something. I'm like, man, what if you watch 7 or 8 hours of content and then the season finale is terrible? This happens so often. And it's well, at least I only wasted an hour and a half or 2 hours on a movie and not a whole weekend.
That's true. It is a lesser commitment. But one thing with Star Wars that I jokingly say, I don't know if it's even a joke, honestly, but I say Star Wars sucks half the time. I've been saying that since we had the 3 prequels that kind of canceled out the 3 original trilogy movies, which I think are actually good. But and there might be some animal noises on this show. That was our dog Amos shaking his collar around. That's another thing we're doing different on this show. It's going to be less polished. What's a better way of saying that? It's going to be more. It's going to be more real and
rough around the edges.
Yeah, it's just more real and gritty.
Well, there's 2 cats running around and a dog.
Yeah,
and the door is open because if we close the door, we will have a meowing fiasco. So
yeah, but we are in a room surrounded with Star Trek merch for people who can see us and talking about Star Wars. So it is kind of on theme. At least we're in Star Wars t-shirts, but. If everything goes according to plan, this will be released in video format on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts. So this will be a bit more of a visual show than Tex. Which Tex, that's one of the things I get compliments on with Tex-Trek all the time. Is we always have slides and screenshots of the episodes we talk about, and we're not going to be doing that here.
Yeah.
We might have visuals on occasion, but I'm going to show y'all our spreadsheet in a little bit that actually lists out all the various shows and movies we're watching. We're doing most everything that's in canon on Disney Plus right now, like I said, in chronological order, starting with The Acolyte, because that takes place, I guess, the earliest of all the shows and
it's
movies.
Like ancient stuff.
Yeah, we're not doing the comics and books. I might mention stuff from that from time to time. We've both have read a few different Star Wars novels.
I think we've read the same ones.
A lot of the same ones.
Yeah, like it's like the ones that kind of align more with the shows that we like.
Yeah. Like, Dark Disciples, a great follow-up to Clone Wars.
And the Ahsoka novel. And then there's also the Dooku novel. I read that one, too.
I didn't read that one, but I think we both read the Kanan and Hera
Yes. Which I always forget the name of that one. So.
It's something like Rebel Dawn or something like that.
Yeah, something.
But yeah, see, that's the loosey-goosey flavor you're going to get on this show, which I think is appropriate. Star Wars is way less professional than Star Trek,
Yeah.
Like I that's one of the things that I didn't really like about the prequels. They kind of forgot that there's supposed to be kind of this amateurish nature to Star Wars, or at least that was one of the big appeals
it's
for me.
It's kind of like flying by the seat of your pants a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's Han Solo, We're not James Kirk here.
Like the closest Trek ever came is the Prodigy kids.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But I think it's also going to be fun to just talk about these episodes. Like we've never seen The Acolyte. That's going to be new to both of us. We've never seen Skeleton Crew, so that'll be new to both of us. But we've seen Rebels, Clone Wars, all the movies, The Bad Batch. We already watched a lot of The Bad Batch together, but most everything else, like we've seen like the movies together. We've seen Andor together. But
we saw Ahsoka together.
We saw Ahsoka together, yeah. That was kind of like when we first met. Taylor was like, you need to watch Ahsoka. And she showed me Ahsoka.
Like, yeah.
And then I was like, you need to watch Star Trek. And she was like, okay, but I got to start at the beginning and go all the way through.
Yeah, that really was a rabbit hole.
Well, now we get to do it again. But
we started with Star Wars, which is funny.
Yeah, so it's like a big... But let's talk about that. We should talk about kind of how we got into Star Wars, because... with me, that kind of was the beginning of all of this. It's kind of, I think of myself as such like a diehard Trekkie. Not that it matters. You can have multiple loves. But Star Wars was my first love. It was, I guess, like the first movie series I was a fan of. I don't know how it started, because no one in my family really likes movies. No one in my immediate family enjoys science fiction at all. But somehow when I was a kid, when I was 2 years old, my mom had a bunch of, VHS tapes to, instead of being like an iPad kid, I was like a VCR kid.
Yeah.
And, someone gave her, like a copy that they made. You used to be able to rent movies and hook up 2 VCRs and make an illegal copy of the movie you rented. But like someone like gave her, like, here's something for your kid to watch. And to her, it was just like some weird movie that, a wolf man drives a spaceship around, and like she never cared about it. But she was like, yeah, I like Star Wars, like outer space, laser stuff. The kid likes it.
Yeah.
But I just adored. It was the original 1977 movie that a lot of people like to call A New Hope. I'm one of those. I'm trying to be better about it, but I'm one of those like old school original trilogy purists that I like to call them Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. Don't give me none of this like Episode 4 and New Hope BS. But anywho, that movie is honestly one of my favorite movies of all time. For a long time I would be like, The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite, but now I'm like, no, the original. That is the most Star Warsy of all of them. And any new Star Wars product, I kind of hold it up to the original as a litmus test. Like, does it jive with this universe? Like, does this mesh? Can these things cohabitate in the same universe in my imagination? And sometimes the answer to that is no, and it makes it hard for me to accept those installments of Star Wars. But I'm also trying to reevaluate a lot of the judgments I've had before, and
yeah. So you've learned from the Trekkie fandom.
Yes.
And now you're applying those things that you learned to the Star Wars fandom to be a better Star Wars fan.
Absolutely.
There you go.
So,
because we don't need Star Wars hating. There's like a lot of like that, like the back and forth banter stuff, and like you didn't watch any of the originals or whatever. I don't know. Like there's a lot of conflict in the Star Wars fandom, I think.
But yeah, and I guess we should both talk a little bit more about our introduction into Star Wars. I guess I kind of jumped the gun on mine, but I just want to remind people while I'm thinking about it. This first show we are doing on YouTube is being streamed on both the Tex-Trek and the other Star franchise YouTube channels. We thought this would be a good way to let the Tex-Trek audience know about this other project we're doing. But going forward, all of this content will be streamed exclusively on the other Star franchise channel, and then it'll be posted to the podcast platforms later. But if you want to watch us on YouTube live, be sure that you like and subscribe to the other Star franchise YouTube channel. That was the wrong asset. I didn't mean to click on. I have one of these things that'll say like and subscribe on screen. There we go, like and subscribe. See, that was a perfect example of the amateurish tone of the show we're going for. But Taylor, let's talk about our introductions into Star Wars. I guess I gave mine. I'll just go on to say that after I saw the original movie, I also eventually it was I guess like a couple years delayed before I finally get into well, that's not true. I have some memories of seeing Empire Strikes Back around like 2 or 3 years old, and like I didn't really understand, but I still remember enjoying the movie and had my eyes glued to the screen. But I eventually became like a big fan of all of the original trilogy. Like in elementary school, those are some of my favoriteest movies. I didn't get into Star Trek until I was like in second grade, was when I became like a hardcore Trekkie. But before that, I was already into Star Wars. Mm-hmm. The first Star Wars movies I saw in the theater were the 1997 special editions when they re-released the original trilogy. And at the time, I thought that was cool. But it didn't take me long before I was like, yeah, that is kind of weird to go in and start changing these movies. And I'm now like one of those, big purists that I'm very excited that they are remastering the original versions of the original trilogy in 4K. That's part of the reasons why I feel like I can finally do this. Is like that makes me hate Disney slightly less, and so I can I feel like okay, like I can be excited for Star Wars again because I'm looking forward to that in 2027, right?
Yeah,
we gotta survive till next year, but have something to look forward to. But yeah, and then with we have like a cat cameo almost. Tux the cat is
he's
making
trying
his
to walk
way
across
over here.
the keyboard.
I deflected the cat.
Yep.
But
for now.
Yeah, so like the prequels when they were coming out, and like each one, I was like, well, I think the second one will be better. I think like the third one will be better. Like the trailers look so cool. And then I wasn't really into any of them. I kind of became like a big prequel hater for a little bit. But then I eventually, because I actually liked some of the stuff that Disney did, and I've also not liked some of the stuff they've done. Mm-hmm. But, it kind of made me realize, yeah, like Star Wars is kind of like this mixed bag. It's kind of, inconsistent. I might love it or I might hate it. But it definitely always gives me something to talk about. I'm always going to have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
So. But enough about me. Taylor, tell us how you got into Star Wars.
Well, similarly to you, I grew up on the VHS collection, the original trilogy on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
And my dad was, like, super into it. I remember watching that, weekly. We probably watched Star Wars at least in the background every week. And I really liked the second movie just because I really liked the AT-ATs when I was a kid. Like, I thought they were so cool, and I loved the string, tying around the legs when they drop them.
Sorry to interrupt you, but just I want to point out that is also funny to me that you call them AT-ATs, because most people younger than me call them AT-ATs, and most people older than me call them AT-ATs. I think because in the 80s toy commercial, it called them AT-ATs.
Okay.
But I feel like younger people read it as like AT-AT, who never heard the commercial.
Yeah.
But it's just funny to me because it's like, I always said I'm like the dividing line. I was born in 86, right? So anyone older than me says AT-AT, anyone younger than me says AT-AT. But you picked up AT-AT from...
But that's because my dad
From your dad, yeah.
Yeah, that's how he said it. So that's how we said it. So... Yeah, so I did. I grew up on the VHSs. I loved them. I remember, really loving Luke and Leia and Obi-Wan, obviously. And I do remember we went to see all of the prequels in theater. That may have been, one of the first movies I ever saw in theater, actually, because I think I was, 4 or 5 when the first one came out.
But y'all went, as a family, yeah?
No, it was just my dad and me and my younger...
Okay,
Actually, I don't think my younger brother. I think it was just me and my dad.
Oh, cool. So like I saw them with I actually got to see the Star Wars movies that released in my lifetime twice. I would go with my uncle Doob, or
Uh-huh.
my mom's uncle, and then my aunt Jamette. Um,
Yeah.
so that was pretty cool to yeah, I didn't have anyone in my immediate family wanted to watch with me, but I had two other relatives slightly more
Yeah.
distant who and also they could drive me to the theater before I
Yeah.
could drive, so that was nice.
But I don't remember like the like all of my experiences in the theater for the prequels. But then yeah, like later once I became an adult, I mean I still loved the trilogy, the original trilogy, and I obviously got really back into it once The Force Awakens came out because that I really loved that movie. And some of the sequels we disagree on a lot of the sequel stuff, but
Yeah.
that really pulled me back in, and that made me interested in watching Clone Wars and Rebels, and I really found that like drawn to that. And so like whenever I want to rewatch Star Wars, I typically lean towards like the Ahsoka centric stuff and like the Anakin and Obi-Wan stuff in Clone Wars. So yeah, it's kind of been an interesting, it was like a jump forward with the sequels and then jump back to like catch back up for all the things I'd missed. Because whenever the Clone Wars was coming out, I really hated the animation. I'm like kind of an animation snob, and I get a little bit I get a little bit like grossed out by some animation. Like it's hard to watch and it'll make me nauseous. And like claymation is one of those. Like it really has to be really good claymation or
These
stop motion for
Zoomers cannot handle stop motion.
it makes me nauseous. I don't know. It looks gross and it makes me feel like I might, puke. So it has to be really like flowy for it to like really work for me. And the animation of Clone Wars was so jagged and like angular and like horrible shading, and it really turned me off.
It improves
It
over
does.
time,
It does
though.
improve. Like
thing is,
incredibly.
If you
improves.
were watching it in like 2008 or whenever like it was first started coming out, it actually like looked good at the time. So
But yeah, so that's why I didn't watch it as it was coming out. Like I remember seeing the commercials for it, and I remember seeing it like on the stations or whatever, like the channels.
yeah.
When I
It was
come
on
home from
Cartoon
school.
Network.
Yeah, but I didn't watch it because it was so weird. But
But the sequels made you mainly like Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And that made you want to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
Stuff. And then like you went hardcore. Like let's talk. You said Empire Strikes Back was your favorite movie as a kid. Is that still your favorite?
like of the whole
Yeah,
thing,
out of the whole
all the
whole
movies,
thing. Yeah,
or
all
all
of
the
them.
shows and movies.
All the movies. Favorite movie.
I think I think Empire Strikes Back and A New Hope or Star Wars, whatever, depending on.
You can call. How
I
about
grew up with it as A New
you
Hope.
call it A New Hope? I'll call it Star Wars.
That's how I grew up.
And then
with
I don't
it.
have to
So-
say it. I'll
so
just be
yeah.
like Star Wars, or as a lot of people like to call it, and then I can just like bump you and you can be like,
A New Hope. But yeah, so I really like both of those. Empire Strikes Back is obviously really good. I loved The Force Awakens, which is basically just Star Wars, A New Hope redone. But I really love Rey. Like, a really sensitive spot there. And I really loved Finn and, like, Poe, like, immediately. I thought it was going to be super great. And then, like, I don't know, the sequels just kind of tanked for me. But I think that's one of the things that, like, over time, I'll end up liking more. Because that's kind of what happened with the prequels for me. Is, like, I remember seeing them in the movie theater. And like, as a kid, I was just like, oh, yeah, like, this was good.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have critiques when I was 5.
Right,
You know?
like yeah, the Phantom Menace came. Is it okay if I say how old you were? Like,
Yeah.
The Phantom Menace came out like a month after your 4th birthday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So I was little.
yeah, you're probably like, oh, the pod racers. That's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Jar Jar. Oh, that's awesome.
I do remember Maul scared the crap out of me. So
Yeah,
that was,
but he's like
yeah.
this acrobat from hell with a double-bladed lightsaber. Like as a little kid, that would be like astonishing and frightening to see
Yeah.
on screen.
It kind of cracked me up because later when I saw Insidious in the theaters, there's a character that looks like Maul. Like he's like a red and black faced demon. I don't know if you remember it, but it like scared me less because I was like, oh, that's Maul. So anyways, I was really scared of Maul as a kid. I do remember that, and
He gets
I
his
think
own
it
TV show this year.
It did get a little political. Like, it went above my head as a kid. Like, a lot of, like, the plot of the prequels. And I remember kind of hating Anakin. Like, I was like, he's scary. And loving Padme, but I was also kind of like, why is she so into this immature brat? And I still feel that way.
See, I question why is she so into this guy who just like mass murdered a whole village of people, and then she marries him anyways and never tells anyone.
It's fucking weird.
Yeah, those Jedi younglings would have been way better off if you just ratted on your love interest, Padme.
Yeah, it was rough.
Shame.
Yeah, and then like rewatching like as an adult, like obviously like the prequels are clunky, and I don't say that they're bad, but there's some really rough dialogue, like really rough, and honestly, like watching Clone Wars and Rebels really improved my opinion of the prequels.
Yeah, I also agree to that, even though I'm the big prequel hater.
Yeah, but so my hope is like my new hope is that the sequels will have like a similar strategy here to like fill in the gaps and make me like the sequels more in 20 years.
That's a big question, I think, in the Star Wars fandom. I'm not sure, but I think it might be. I don't really engage in the Star Wars fandom much because a lot of those people are assholes. I'm sure most of them are great, but like a lot of the vocal ones online are assholes. And, or at least that's just my anecdotal experience, but I mean, that's my experience, so, but back to the point, I do wonder, like, will there be this kind of movement we saw with the prequels, where now it's like, it's very common for people who are like, yeah, I'm a huge fan of the prequels, I love them, I grew up with those, I really cherish those movies, it's like a lot of old heads like Fatheree feel about the original trilogy, so I wonder if that will be a sequel resurgence in another 10 years, you know?
Yes, sorry, I'm having a cat attack.
Yeah. You know, the animals are part of the show. That was the cat Tux, I guess.
He was trying to get my attention and it worked.
Yeah, he's tearing up our chairs. So sorry if you're hearing like some like chair destruction noises. Like I said, this is like the real gritty. This is like the organic show. This is like we wanted to be like immersive. Like you're in the room with us. Mm-hmm. That's the quality you get at the other Star franchise. I was going to ask you, though, Empire Strikes Back, favorite movie. What about favorite character? You said that when you tried Clone Wars again, you went super deep. And I know who your favorite character is, but if you want to tell everyone else.
It's Ahsoka. She's definitely my favorite character.
So,
I rewatched the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars as its own movie. I count that as a movie, personally.
Would that be your favorite movie?
That would be my favorite movie if I counted it as a movie. Especially if you watch like the cut of it together with the prequels.
It should have been released as a movie, honestly, because like Clone Wars, like they started with like a theatrical released movie. They should have ended with a theatrical released movie. Yeah, I totally agree. I almost wonder the way that they kind of have it kind of start off the same, like that Lucasfilm logo. Mm-hmm. I almost wonder if that was the idea. I think it was
because they changed the font to be red.
Yeah, they've probably commented
which
on
is
that.
a movie. I think that's like the movie color when they like when it says.
Well, no, it was green in the Clone Wars movie, like normal, and then I think in those final 4 episodes they did it again, but as red to kind of. But those are the only times it had that Lucasfilm logo at the beginning. Was the movie, and then like that 4th to last episode of Clone Wars or whatever it is.
It's been a year or 2 since I've seen all those episodes too, so I'm a little rusty on all the colors and all that.
But you like all the things that Ahsoka's in, so Clone Wars, Rebels, her own show, Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I really love Hera too in Rebels.
Oh, I am so glad that Jeremiah is here because he is a long-time member of the Tex-Trek audience, but also a hardcore Star Wars fan. And I was thinking, like, should I make Star Wars content? And I was like, do people want to hear me, the Star Trek guy, talk about Star Wars? And I was like, well, Jeremiah is really into Star Wars, and he'd probably like it. And if he'd like it, there'd probably be other people in the audience who'd like it. So glad that you're here, Jeremiah. But he is one of those younger people who was a big fan of the animation. To him, I don't want to put words in your mouth, Jeremiah. So feel free in the live chat to correct me if I'm wrong. But it was my understanding you are a big fan of Star Wars from the animation from Clone Wars, and that to you like the prequels are just kind of these live action expansions of this animated show.
See, that's what I like. That's how I like to think about it now. Yeah. Instead of it being like, Clone Wars is an expansion on the prequels, I'm like, no. Like the prequels are just there. Yeah. And it's actually the Clone Wars and Rebels that we want to watch.
I don't love Clone Wars, but I don't even know if Yeah, I'll say I like it. I definitely like. It's like all of Star Wars in general to me, though. It's just inconsistent. There's parts of Clone Wars I really like. There's parts of it I can't stand that I think are just prequel trash. And then there's parts I'm like, oh my god, that is like god tier quality Star Wars. Yeah, Clone Wars is going to be a roller coaster, and that's like the biggest show. It's like
Yeah.
150 episodes or some shit. So we're going
It's
to be
so
on that a
good.
long time.
I love so many of those episodes too. I'm really excited to see some.
But you have never seen it in the chronological watch order,
No,
so
I've only ever watched it just how it is in order on Disney Plus. Like, and you know, it's confusing because you're watching and you're like, didn't Greedo, or not Greedo, but I forget that Rodian's name, but he died, and then like 4 or 5 episodes later, he's back, and you're like, wait, what? And I remember being like confused, and I googled it, and they're like, oh yeah, like none of this makes sense. Like the timeline is totally weird in the release order. And so, yeah, I've never given it a lot of thought into making it a chronological watch because it just seemed like a big, daunting task to put everything in order, which you've done so nicely for us. You've
Yeah.
taken that burden off of my shoulders.
Yeah, so I'll show you all the spreadsheet and talk about our watch order more in just a second. If whenever we're done, I guess talking about like our I don't know, explaining where we are in the Star Wars fandom, like our so your favorite character is Ahsoka. I don't know if I have a favorite character. Like I don't want to be just like man, like every ex-Xennial guy is gonna say, but like oh, I really like Luke Skywalker.
I mean,
and
he's great.
and you know like. I like Ben Kenobi
Yeah.
and you know I don't know R2D2 is cool. I'll say
I
like
thought you were
Chopper
I was
from
gonna
Rebels.
say,
Yes.
I was waiting for you to say Chopper because you're always like,
well,
I'm excited to see Chopper.
Chopper bashed the most fash.
I know. He has
which-
the highest kill count in the show.
And I guess that's a big segue for me to talk about the big part of my Star Wars fandom I'm definitely leaning into now. But I love the fight the authority aspect. I love like the little guys against the big powerful empire. I love the anti-fascist lean of Star Wars. I think should be an important part of it in any installment, no matter what you're doing. That is baked into it from the very beginning. Love or hate George Lucas, I'll always give him credit for putting that in there. And I wanted to label this as an anti-fascist Star Wars podcast, mainly because anyone who's pissed off by that, I want to be pissed off by that. If you're anti-fascist, then I'm anti you. So I guess
Yeah.
I'm anti-fascist.
And
But-
also go watch Star Wars.
But
Did
yeah.
you see it?
yeah, if that shit went over your head, please do us all a favor and try again. And may the force be with you this time. Maybe you'll get it. But that'll be another thing to kind of talk about as we watch Star Wars. More from, I think, my perspective than Taylor's, but just because I engage with all media from kind of a leftist perspective, because that's who I am and that's how my brain works. So I'll definitely be able to comment on. There's a lot of that in Star Wars. Like I don't want to, bring the mood down too much and ruin all the fun. But the what's happening in the news right now, it definitely makes me feel like I'm living in the Star Wars universe. I wanted to grow up and live in the United Federation of Planets, but instead I live in the Galactic Empire, where a stormtrooper can shoot an innocent civilian to death in Minnesota today. So when those things come up in the shows and movies and stuff, you can bet your ass I'll be pointing that out. And just as a reminder to everyone to resist empire, resist fascism, resist this bullshit that we're being forced to deal with. I know that we like these Star Wars, Star Trek. I have a lot of people in my audience. They're like, we turn to this stuff for escapism. But I also know there's a lot of people who are like, the stuff is relevant, and we do want to engage with this from a political relevance
Yes.
perspective.
But also, like, art and storytelling are a direct, like, result from
Yeah.
current events. This has constantly been something, like, I'm an art history major, and, like, we're learning about Renaissance paintings, and you have to learn the history of what's happening to see the propaganda or, like, the historical notations, like, in pieces. And so that's the same thing today. Like, just because it's contemporary to us and it's happening now doesn't mean that there's not things being said politically in these things. Like, you may just have to think about it a little bit outside the box to get it, But I guess all that was just to say that art is always going to be a direct correlation to whatever's going on in the world. And that includes Star Wars, Star Trek, everything.
But yeah, I mean, look at this. Look at this fun commentary you're going to get on Star Wars. Taylor can look at things from an art history perspective. I can look at it from a leftist political perspective, and you can enjoy or ignore the content that results. But I think we've established, I guess, where we both are with our Star Wars fandom. And we'll talk more about that stuff as this comes up. We can always talk about, when was the first time we watched something. But are y'all ready to see the spreadsheet? The big spreadsheet. It took me literally
So
like
long.
weeks to mayhaps months to make this spreadsheet. Part of that just because like I'm kind of slow and incompetent at tasks like that. But not incompetent, I would just say slow. But let me share my screen. Another unpolished aspect to the other Star franchises, you might hear some mouse clicks that I'm not going to be able to remove because this is just the nitty-gritty Star Wars way of doing things. But here we go. I'm pulling up my screen now to show y'all the spreadsheet. This is our chronological watch order, everybody. So starting with The Acolyte, which, believe it or not, we almost did not include The Acolyte on here. I've never been into the Old Republic. I know now they have the High Republic, but I'm one of those people, I tried playing the Xbox game when it came out 23 years ago or whenever. I tried playing it for like 3 hours. I was like, yeah, this just RPG is not for me. And from that point on, I never had any interest in Old Republic or ancient Jedi stuff. I've heard mixed things about the Acolyte. Some positive things from our audience recently on Tex-Trek were kind of hyping it up for us. I have nothing against the Acolyte. It was just like I don't care about like those old Jedi from hundreds of years earlier. I like, to me, like the heart of Star Wars is it's the story about this father and this son and the arcs they go through while the scrappy rebellion fights the evil space Nazis in kind of the background of this personal story. And just, the further you remove yourself from that, the less interested I tend to be. But just some of the shows, and I think the Mandalorian show proved to me that it's actually really cool to just be very detached from that central story.
It actually cracks me up when you say stuff like that, because one of the biggest complaints I hear in Star Wars is it's like, oh, everybody knows everybody in this giant
Well,
universe.
I feel that way too.
So then it's like, oh, okay, we're getting that critique from our fans. We'll just like go super far back and have a bunch of new characters and expand on like the universe, and everyone's like, no, not like that.
I mean, well, that was my reaction. But I know a lot of people really love the Old Republic, and a lot of people liked Acolyte. So I have included on our spreadsheet here the episode titles, the season and episode number where you can find the episode on Disney Plus, and the runtime of everything, as well as the in-universe year in which it takes place. And looking at the Acolyte, most of it takes place 132 BBY. Spoiler, I guess there's a flashback episode. This one is 148. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll so that technically won't be chronological order. Yeah. See, we're messing up with the first show we watched. But other than that, everything will be in chronological order. So as we watch these things, as we continue to discuss on the show, we'll check things off on our list. And the loosey-goosey format, we're just going to talk about whatever I don't know when we're going to stream next. I don't know when's going to be the set time for this. This is all, like Taylor said, flying by the seat of our pants. Mm-hmm. I think I just bumped the microphone, so there was a cool little sound effect for y'all.
It's before Battle of Yavin, by the way, for BBY.
Yeah.
I did know about that, but Steven did explain that to me. You should explain it to our audience.
So it's like, well, it's like a, BC and AD, which, or whatever they, BEC
but
or however the hell it is.
I did see some, confusing, comments going around a couple years ago about it being before Baby Yoda, which is silly.
No, it is not Baby Yoda. It's before Battle of Yavin. Yeah. Grogu was already born during that time. But, yeah, so we won't stream another show until we've watched The Acolyte. And that'll probably just be what we talk about, that 8-episode show. But, we might talk about, after that, it might be some Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Underworld. And The Phantom Menace, might be what we talk about. So But we'll just do these streams every, week or 3 weeks or just whenever we find ourselves with time, and we'll just talk about whatever the most recent Star Wars we watched and what we thought about it. And it'll be fun to kind of see what kind of evolves out of this show. Like we might make like a drinking game or something where it's like every time Fatheree complains about Jar Jar, take a drink. Or
I was thinking you'd say something different. I definitely will be complaining about Jar Jar. Sorry, everyone. I'm sure y'all are sick of hearing about it, but God.
Well, I won't do like an annoying Jar Jar like Misa promised not to be talking like this. Like I won't do that. I won't do that ever. I apologize, everyone. I shouldn't have done that. That was no one will hear me do a Jar Jar voice ever again.
Well, got that one out of the bag.
Yeah, we just had to get it out of the way. But we should also say that everything else on our list we've watched until we get to the very end. The last thing we're watching before The Mandalorian and Grogu is Skeleton Crew. So we're beginning with something new with The Acolyte. We're ending with something new with Skeleton Crew. Taylor and I will now go through our spreadsheet and just talk about like each show and movie. And we'll just say something that we're looking forward to talking about. We're going to keep it kind of positive. We're not going to talk about like oh man, I'm gonna hate watching Attack of the Clones or anything like that. We're gonna talk about the things we're looking forward to, starting with a show neither one of us know very much about, The Acolyte. What are you looking forward to in The Acolyte, Taylor?
Well, I literally know nothing about it, and I was hoping maybe we get some like really cool Jedi Temple stuff, like because my favorite part of Rebels is like all of the cool Jedi Temple exploration, and so I'm kind of hoping we get to see more of that. But I'm actually feeling pretty positive about going into a new show for once.
Yeah, I mean, we got some positive reactions when we mentioned The Acolyte on Tex-Trek recently. It's a show that, I kind of feel sorry for, because I know it was showing like, oh, look, like this really diverse cast of Jedi. And then there were a lot of fans who were kind of shitting on the show for that. And, I hate hearing that. So I really want the show to be good. So that, I want to defend it. I want to root for it. So I'm going into the show like hoping that it is really good and can prove the haters wrong. But I guess one of the things I'm looking forward to is I've heard that the Jedi in the show. This is our friend Dave, one of the co-founders of Tex-Trek. He told me about The Acolyte. He said it's not a perfect show. It has some weak points in it, but the Jedi are so much closer to kind of what he imagined the Jedi as an old school original trilogy kid before the prequels. And I didn't like the Jedi just kind of being like, oh, they're like the FBI of the galactic government. They're just like they're basically like a federal agency. I was like, man, that's pretty lame. I wanted them to just be these kind of like these like badass, very
nomads.
Zen samurai. Yeah, they just like wander into a planet and they find some local trouble and they deal with it with their wits and their wisdom and if need be their laser sword.
Yeah.
But it sounds like The Acolyte is closer to that. So I'm hoping that I get some of the Jedi that little kid Fatheree would have imagined back in the old, before we saw Samuel L. Jackson, one of the most exciting actors to watch, play one of the most lame, boring characters ever on screen. But after The Acolyte, we're gonna factor in those anthology shows, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Underworld. We're not doing those. It's called like Young Jedi Adventure or something. It's like this kind of like Nick Jr. type show. We're skipping that one, but we're doing most everything else that's a show that's in continuity. And I don't know, Taylor, is there anything you're looking forward to in the they've done Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Empire, and Tales of the Underworld.
Yeah. I've only seen Tales of the Empire and Tales of the Underworld once through, so I don't really, and it was a while back.
Oh, we watched those together last year.
Yeah, and so I only remember a little bit. I'm excited to see some more of the villain stories, I liked the Morgan ones. But, of course, Tale of the Jedi. I love Ahsoka. Oh, baby Ahsoka. Are you kidding me? She's so cute.
So the way that we're doing our chronological watch order is, like, we'll see, like, the Tales of the Jedi episodes where you get, like, young Dooku and Qui-Gon. And then we'll do, like, the Tales of the Underworld with, like, young Cad Bane. And then we'll do, like, baby Ahsoka. And then, like, it's time for the Phantom Menace with little baby Darth Vader, when we had Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Taylor, I guess I should say something I'm looking forward to in the tells is just I'm looking forward to like watching these in chronological order, like maybe seeing like some of the Dooku stuff before the Phantom Menace, and then we'll follow the Phantom Menace with another Tales of the Jedi episode, the Sith Lord, where you see Dooku kind of reacting to Qui-Gon's death in the movie. I guess we're going to be spoiling things on here too on occasion. So
hey, like this is another old franchise, y'all.
Well, I want to be a hypocrite though and ask people like, please don't ruin Skeleton Crew for us, because we got a long way to go before we get to that one.
Okay, fair.
So maybe we should try to be a little less spoilerish. So, but see, we're working it out as we go. So I'll try to do better going forward. Apologies if I ruined Tales of the Jedi for anyone. But who knows? I think if I had heard that, it would excite me to go watch it if I hadn't already seen it.
Yeah.
But the Phantom Menace, Taylor, we should mention something that we're excited to see in the Phantom Menace. So what are you excited to see?
So bad, but my favorite moment in the Phantom Menace is when Maul runs over Anakin with the
speeder bike.
Speeder bike. Oh my god, it's so fucking funny. Like he just hits him and he Anakin falls into the dune, and I'm like, man, like that just could have saved us like so much of this horrible story if he had just been a little bit more on target.
I mean, it would have worked out better for the rest of the galaxy, like if there had never been a Darth Vader.
But that shot always cracks me up.
So you're looking forward to that shot.
Yeah.
What I'm looking forward to in the Phantom Menace is the part I always, I guess, enjoy watching it. If I'm gonna, watch it today on a nice 4K TV, but just the production design. There's a lot of nice sets and miniatures and a lot of like real things. It's not as CGI-ish as the next two Star Wars movie. They also shot it on film, so it looks a little bit better in 4K than the digitally shot Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So, speaking of which, let's move on to Attack of the Clones. Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. This is when they begin the Clone Wars chronologically. Yeah. What are you excited to see in that movie?
This movie is wild. I don't know. I'm trying to stay positive on this one. I really enjoy Obi-Wan Kenobi going to Kamino and playing dumb to figure stuff out, and he's kind of doing a self-investigation, or not self-investigation, but an investigation of Kamino, and I think that is my favorite part of that movie, and so I'm looking forward to I don't know, seeing that again.
Detective Obi-Wan is on the case.
Yeah.
I guess George Lucas wanted it to be really rainy to make it an old film noir detective movie, but that vibe doesn't come through at all. So it's rainy. But anyways, I want to stay positive.
Yeah, stay positive.
I'll have some complaints about that Camino stuff when we watch it.
Yeah.
But I guess one of the things I'm going to do watching this chronologically is try to, think of the Clone Wars as this real war that's happening for real with these I don't know, campaigns and stuff. Just kind of, just follow the details and stuff like that. And I guess the first big battle of that we get is in Attack of the Clones. So I guess I'll say that.
Yeah.
And all these prequel movies, I should say, the two actors who I think give really good performances, the two Scottish guys, Ian McDiarmid and Ewan McGregor.
Yeah.
I can watch Palpatine and Obi-Wan. This is something that's new for me to give compliments to the prequels. But I can. This is do I really want to say this? But yeah, no, I can watch those two dudes play those characters in any scene. Their performances always stand out. George Lucas seems to struggle directing actors, and great actors like Natalie Portman can deliver just some of the most weird, awkward, wooden performances I've ever seen from them.
Yeah.
So, like I was just saying with Samuel L. Jackson, but yeah, the Obi-Wan Kenobi stuff and the Palpatine stuff. That's for all the prequels.
Yeah.
The next one. Revenge or no.
Yeah,
I'm jumping the gun.
Yeah,
I'm jumping the gun.
Alone.
Yeah. So one of the things we really like, especially you, but the Clone Wars,
including the Clone Wars movie. Mm-hmm. This we're staying positive. This I did watch this first before I saw the Clone Wars like episodes. And it didn't make me enthused, but it did introduce Ahsoka. So...
Oh, we don't have to talk about the Clone Wars movie. We just talk about like all of Clone. We just lump that in with all of Clone Wars.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing it as like a standalone. But
because there's actually 2 episodes of the show that take place before that movie.
Yeah. Well, I really love the Clone Wars. One, I love seeing them all grow up. I think that's really cool. Like Ahsoka's, what do you call that? Like the CGI model or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's like literally one each season.
Yeah, they update the character model. She
literally grows up. And same for Anakin, like his hair grows out.
I think Ahsoka goes from ages 14 through 17. Yeah. I might be wrong, but yeah, so that's...
Yeah. But I think that's really cool, and literally just the whole time, like she's growing personally, like she's going through the whole drama with learning about the Jedi stuff and where her place is with that, and her friendship / like siblingship with Anakin. I think it's all so fun and interesting. I love how nitty gritty it gets. It really deep dives a lot and expands on all those characters from the prequels. And I love the episodes with Ahsoka and Padme together. Like, those are some of my favorites, where they get to interact and they're working together and stuff, or where Ahsoka's protecting Padme. So, yeah, and again, like, I think the Clone Wars series just does so good with all the drama of the war.
Yeah, so the Clone Wars begin in 22 BBY. That's the in-universe year. 22 years before the Battle of Yavin, when... Well, I guess I shouldn't spoil the original trilogy. But...
I mean...
when the Battle of Yavin happens, it's the Death Star. Come on. But 22 BBY to 19 BBY... And it is a lot of episodes, so I think like 150. We'll be in the Clone Wars, jumping around all over the place. I'm looking at our spreadsheet. It's like Season 2, Episode 14, Season 2, Episode 20, and then we have like some Season 3 episodes here. And so, yeah, it's going to be pretty wild. But yeah, we'll be on Clone Wars for a long... Hey, there's going to be a Tales of the Empire episode in the middle of our Clone Wars watching that people can see on our spreadsheet. I should make a link to the spreadsheet in the Tex-Trek Discord server. I'll post it in some other places, but you can keep up with the Other Star franchise in the Tex-Trek Discord server. There's the Other Star franchise channel in there, so please keep up with us over there. But yeah, the Clone Wars will take us a while. That's going to be
it's like 35% of the stuff.
Yeah, it's like 150 of the like 400 something episodes and movies.
It's a huge chunk.
I guess what I'm looking forward to in there is, my favorite part of that show is the clones, when it became more about the clone soldiers and less about the Jedi in some of the later seasons.
Oh yeah.
And also, I kind of mentioned, like, it's going to be kind of cool to, to follow all of the Clone Wars in chronological order in universe and just, kind of get an idea of that section of Star Wars history.
Yeah.
And, the other thing I'm looking forward to, I guess, is because you're such a big fan of the Clone Wars, is just hearing you point out all of your, your favorite things in it, and just hearing, I know you have, like, a lot of opinions on Clone Wars, so just getting to hear all of that from you.
Yeah, there's some really, really cool episodes I'm excited to watch, and there's also a few episodes I'm dreading. But I'm excited.
Bombad Jedi.
Oh my god. You know exactly which one. Yeah, I love the Clone Wars. I'm excited to watch it with you. I think it's gonna be fun.
Cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Oh, forgot what I was gonna say, but then I remembered. The guy who voices Anakin on Clone Wars, whose name escapes me. We're doing it more loosey-goosey. I'm less prepared. I don't have like all the Wikipedia pages open, but I love his performance of Anakin Skywalker so much, and I think his voice sounds very different from Hayden Christensen. Yeah. It's funny because the Clone Wars Obi-Wan sounds just like Ewan McGregor, and the Anakin sounds nothing like Anakin. Yeah. But I like his performance as Anakin so much.
It's so good.
But then it actually, I think it's really cool that Hayden Christensen got to come back, and I'm happy for him. But it annoys me to go back to the new Disney stuff with Hayden Christensen. It's like, you're not Anakin's voice. It sounds wrong.
I have such a similar feeling, too, because I also feel like Anakin's voice is wrong when I watch the prequels and stuff. Like, Hayden is a good actor, but the voice is off now because there's so much more Clone Wars. There's more Anakin.
And his line delivery is...
It's so good.
Well, Hayden Christensen's line delivery is not good
No.
because he was directed by George Lucas, who doesn't know how to direct actors.
Yeah.
But it would be mean to do, but kind of how like Darth Maul they dub over
Sam Witwer, right?
Over Ray Park,
right?
They should dub over Hayden Christensen.
I kind of agree. Like, I think Hayden Christensen is such a stronger actor now and better directed now. Like, I love what he was in recently, but agree, the voice is just something you don't really get. Like, that confidence that Anakin gives in the Clone Wars series is so much stronger. But I'm also looking forward to Obi-Wan actor too, James Arnold Taylor. I think he does like a bunch of small voices too.
Oh, and we should say one of our Star Trek actors, D. Bradley Baker,
who voices
Murph
all
on
the
Prodigy.
clones.
He's all the clones. So and George Takei shows up in Clone Wars, and Simon Pegg shows up in Clone Wars. So there's a lot of Star Trek actors in Clone Wars, actually.
Yeah.
But if you make 150 episodes, you're gonna have a lot of actors on your show.
Yeah, that's true. And all of Trek, like,
there's
got to be overlap.
1,000 episodes of Star Trek. There's been a lot of actors in Star Trek, y'all. Okay, next movie, which we'll still have like a couple episodes of Clone Wars to watch after Revenge of the Sith, because it's all taking place around the same time in 19 BBY, but the movie Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess we're not doing spoilers. I'm confused. I feel like we can, because, like, hasn't everyone already seen all this?
Yeah, we can
but
spoil
we'll spoil a little bit.
Things.
But
maybe the movies, but not the shows. How about that?
Okay. The Mustafar scenes between Obi-Wan and Anakin that are tear-jerking, I look forward to that. Like, it's sad, but I think that's, like, some of the best part of the prequels. Like, acting-wise.
No,
and
there's some, like, good imagery.
It makes me cry.
Yeah. Like, but see, that's what I'm talking about, like, Hayden Christensen's, like, face. Like, he can act the hell out of his face. Like just put Revenge of the Sith on mute and just, like, watch that. Like for real, like, you get more out of his facial expressions than out of his dialogue delivery. But Joel in the live audience is pointing out the lava fight on the volcanoes.
Yeah.
What I'm looking forward to is the John Williams score in that music. I think that is some of the best Star Wars music out of anything.
Yeah.
So I think John Williams just really, like, kills it with that movie. Mm-hmm. And also those Clone Wars episodes that take place around there are so good that when I'm watching the Revenge of the Sith, which is not a movie I'm a big fan of, but I can think about, like, all that cool stuff with Ahsoka and Rex is going on, like, right now.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Oh, I've watched that split film with the Revenge of the Sith.
There's a fan edit that puts it all together.
Oh, it's so good.
I don't know
if y'all all have time, you should look it up and watch it, because I think it's really I don't know. I like it splitting because it splits it up by minute.
It's a big commitment because it's like a 4-hour watch.
It's huge.
But if you can commit to it, it's the best way to watch Revenge of the Sith. I don't know if it's the best way to watch those Clone Wars episodes.
No, it's not.
I kind of like those enough that I kind of like to watch those straight through.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I think when I am watching Revenge of the Sith, like, it makes it better for me thinking about what's going on with Maul and Ahsoka.
Totally.
And Mandalore.
Which was something that, like, I, even just, like, a couple years ago, like, would not have even occurred to me to be even that courteous to the prequels. So, I'm definitely trying to do better.
So, what comes after that?
So, then we get that kind of cool era between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. There is some more Tell stuff, but also The Bad Batch. Mm-hmm. That was the 3-season show in which, speaking of D. Bradley Baker, he voices almost the entire regular cast. But yeah, the Bad Batch, it's a spinoff of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And I should also say that in Clone Wars, we're going to watch some of those episodes they never fully animated that are on StarWars.com, which originally there was an episode like that of The Bad Batch that I watched years ago on StarWars.com. And then when they did that final season of Clone Wars, they made that episode The Bad Batch. So they like, okay, that was like the one that they actually did. But the people who run Star Wars, they've said all that stuff is canon. So we'll go ahead and give it a watch.
Cool.
But yeah, the Bad Batch, that was something that I had started before I met you, but then after we started watching Star Wars together with like Ahsoka stuff, we also then like did Bad Batch.
Yeah, we caught up on the Bad Batch.
Yeah, we waited till last year to do the final
season 3 watch.
Season 3, but we are pretty big fans of that show.
I love season 1. For me, I think 3 seasons was too many seasons. Or not enough. Like, I feel like it was a weird spot to end. But I really like Omega, you know, and I like the Bad Batch, obviously. Like, pretty cool. But I also liked the first episode of Bad Batch, just a super long one, where we start with, like, Kanan Jarrus with Order 66.
Yeah.
Like, that episode is so good. Like, I watched that episode probably, like, 8 or 9 times before the second episode came out. Because I was just so impressed by it.
That stuff is going to hit hard coming off of the Clone Wars rewatch we're going to do. And then, like, when we see, like, all the stuff that happens with, like, the clones and Kamino. And so, yeah, I'm really excited to rewatch this in the greater, you know, chronological watch that we're doing. This is going to be, like, kind of like that cornerstone when it goes from being, you know, prequel stuff to being the Empire is here, and which, you know, that's like my favorite era of Star Wars, is like when they're fighting the Empire, largely because that's the most relatable part.
Yeah.
But and it'll also be the first time I've watched Bad Batch a second time.
Me too. Yeah.
I haven't. Well, you said you watched the first episode a whole lot.
Yeah. But, you mean the whole thing?
Yeah.
I haven't seen season 3 more than once.
Yeah. So.
So I feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we might get more out of it now that we know, like, some of the later reveals. There might be stuff we pick up on in the earlier episodes we didn't before.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about these 2 entries. But Solo: A Star Wars Story and the Obi-Wan Kenobi miniseries on Disney Plus. Those are around the Solo movie is 10 BBY and the Obi-Wan movie is 9 BBY. So kind of like right in the middle between the prequel trilogy and the original trilogy. Starting with Solo: A Star Wars Story, Taylor. What's something you're looking forward to watching in Solo: A Star Wars Story?
Man, I had a really good one the other day, and now I'm having a brain fart. This movie I've only seen a couple times, so I'm excited to kind of see it in the canon chronologically, because I never watched it besides just as a standalone once. But my favorite character, this is what it is, Lando Calrissian.
Yeah, Donald Glover.
Donald Glover, I love his performance. I love his outfits. And honestly, it was so outstanding that I'm going to say it, and everyone's going to be like, oh. But I like his performance more.
Hot take!
Hot take! I like his performance of Calrissian more than the original
Billy D. Williams.
Billy D. Williams. Not to say that he didn't do a great job, too, but I was very impressed.
I can't go that far, but I definitely dig his performance in the movie, and, you know, watching it, like, he nails, like, the cadence of Billy D. Williams's Lando Calrissian. Like, you know, like, okay, like myself, Childish Gambino also grew up watching The Empire Strikes Back a lot, because he's got that guy's voice down.
Yeah, it's so good. And his drama and his confidence, it's all just perfect.
I like Woody Harrelson's performance in that movie.
Yeah.
And then kind of the final showdown at the end of that.
Yeah.
I do think it's a movie that it should have ended with the Kessel Run, and then, like, the rest of it just feels like, why is this still going? Why is this still going?
But we're keeping it positive on this.
We are keeping it positive, so I'll say, like, the Woody Harrelson stuff. Oh, that train job is pretty cool.
Yeah. The heist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good sequence.
Yeah.
In the snow with the Imperial troopers. Yeah, I get to We can swear on this show, right?
I already said the F word,
Okay.
so sorry.
Yeah, but I can watch that and be like, yeah, fuck you, bucketheads.
So, what about Obi-Wan Kenobi show?
Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Yeah, so this like with Solo, I kind of wish this show just ended with the fifth episode and didn't have the sixth. I would have
Right.
liked it a lot more, but we're keeping it positive. The Obi-Wan Kenobi show, like I said, I love Ewan McGregor's performance, so looking forward to watching him. I also I like the Uncle Owen expansion we get. You know, we get to see a lot more Uncle Owen than we ever saw before, and I liked those scenes with him and Obi-Wan and just learning more about Owen's relationship with Luke. He's an asshole when we first see him in the original trilogy, so it was nice to see him as like a loving, protective parent.
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool.
I think it gives a better perspective of his lines in the original trilogy. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming from the protective parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know one of the ones that you're going to say, but I also liked was Little Kid Leia.
Oh, yeah. That was going to be my positive. Wait, we're staying positive, so we can't say anything else. But yeah, I really liked little Leia a lot. She's very adorable. I love her little braids and her cute little cheeks, and she reminds me of our niece Larkin so much. Like, she's so cute and like sassy and smart, and I like having a little Leia.
We want to watch Star Wars with Larkin because she loves Grogu. Well, she calls him Baby Yoda, which is forgivable. We'll let that pass. Yeah, but I am going to try to get her to at least go see the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. I think she'll like that, but like I kind of want to watch the show with her. I know like she's 4, she'll enjoy the movie without the show, but she would actually like watch the show. She's she can follow shows. So
Oh, I want to say one more thing about the Obi-Wan show. Another reason I really like having the little Leia scenes is like you're thinking about what Luke is doing at the same time as this little kid Leia, who is like so different from Luke. Like, they're twins, but I love seeing that juxtaposition of them. And I think it's really fun to kind of see how differently they're raised and their strengths are so different, you know?
Yeah, and a little bit of, societal gender stuff with like the girl and the boy and like...
Yeah. But it also is cool because now we have like Luke is close with Obi-Wan and so is Leia. Like, they both have like childhood experiences with Ben.
then that's another thing when we get to the original trilogy and
It's
we
awkward.
see him die. Well, it's awkward that Leia is comforting Luke and Luke isn't really comforting the gal who just had her homeworld exploded. But
Now they're both mourning.
they're both grieving this
Yeah.
this guy, this kind
Obi-Wan.
of this mentor that they went on an adventure with.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Gandalf to their Bilbo. So, oh my god,
Your
I
favorite's
am so
coming up.
hyped. Okay, so after the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, shit gets real, and we're talking about Andor, the greatest produced Star Wars of all time. It's hard for me to imagine them ever making something I personally enjoy in Star Wars more than
Yeah.
Andor.
Yeah.
As much as I love Deep Space Nine as the best thing of Star Trek, I think Andor is the best thing of Star Wars.
Yeah, I concur.
But yeah, I'm just looking forward to rewatching virtually every scene of that show. I consider like a privilege to watch it. Just from a filmmaking standpoint, the cinematography, the acting is just everything is so gorgeous and beautiful and stellar. But also the politics. It was like a Star Wars show like made for me.
It really is. And the stakes are high, like in Andor. Like
Yeah.
it's like a great suspense show. You know, like you never know what's gonna happen and who's gonna show up and what's like it's scary.
That's
like
like the thing about
there's moments that are like genuinely scary and
the
horrifying.
criticism of prequels, though, like I see Joel in the live audience pointing out, Andor is a prequel to a prequel with Rogue One,
Yeah.
but it does keep you guessing. Like you were saying, a lot of these characters you would have no idea what their fates are going to be. So There are ways to, I guess that's the way, is you just add some new characters that no one
Yeah.
ever talked about
Right.
before, and then you can do whatever.
We're expanding the universe.
But yeah, it still, you had like Mon Mothma and Bel Organa, but it didn't feel small universe.
Yeah.
Um, And this is a cool thing about the chronological rewatch that I probably should have mentioned when I brought up Andor, but we're also going to be watching Rebels and Andor at the same time, kind of bouncing back and forth. But did you say what you were looking forward to in Andor?
Well, it'll be my second time watching it.
Right,
I've only seen it once.
You saw season 1 right before season 2 came out
Yes.
last year, and then we watched season 2. Like every Tuesday night, that was our ritual. We would sit down around 7 or 8 p.m. when shortly after whenever it dropped, and we would watch the 3 new episodes.
Yeah.
It was like we got like this epic 3-hour Star Wars political drama movie every week on Tuesday.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything specifically I'm looking forward to. Like I also kind of blur between season 1 and season 2 because I've only seen it all once.
Right.
But I really liked Andy Serkis's character.
Yeah,
and the whole
season
prison
1,
stuff.
yeah.
That was horrible and good, like at the same time. Like it was really well written. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to watch all of this knowing what's going to happen. Is what I'm excited for.
And I like the Dedra Cyril stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I think is
that's
wildly entertaining. Mm-hmm. And the ISB, the Imperial Security Bureau, I'm like, this is a great depiction of how I'm pretty sure the CIA operates. It's like more realistic than like most grounded movies trying to talk about it, modern life intelligence agencies. So, reminder, fuck Empire. But Rebels, let's talk about Rebels. This is, I think both of us would say this is our favorite animated Star Wars show.
I go back and forth.
Because Bad Batch you really like.
No,
Clone Wars you really like.
Yeah.
You just told me the other day that you thought Bad Batch was your favorite. Well, I might be
didn't. You must have caught me on a weird day.
I've heard you say Rebels as your favorite.
I go back and forth because there's some things I really like about Rebels, like really love. A lot of the Ahsoka stuff. I love the like Sky Bridge, Otherworld, universe, dimension, especially in season 4 where
the world between worlds.
The world between worlds.
My least favorite part.
I know.
We're staying positive.
I know you don't like it, but I like that mystical, like magical, ethereal, like time is stopped kind of loophole. I like all that.
Yeah, the Dave Filoni mysticism.
I do. I like that so much. It's cool and witchy, and I don't know. It's interesting to me. Like it's not as Jedi like original trilogy, but it has like this ancientness to it that I really dig. And there's also like a lot of art history references during it because they're like, having different temples.
That's like Thrawn's thing is he's like a art guy, so.
Yeah, so it's really cool. I think the Rebels is just really well written, but it's also really well animated and really well like researched. Like not researched maybe because they're coming up with their own universe, but
designed well
with the thought of like how civilians like, or how what am I trying to say? How civilizations like grow and expand. Like, I don't know. It's just really neat. And then on top of that, you have like all the actual war going on too, which is interesting. But I definitely lean more into like that mysticism of Rebels. That's like really cool for me.
Yeah, so I kind of get weirded out by like the Dave Filoni, the magic wolves and the Bendu, even though I think it is pretty cool to have Tom Baker, Doctor Who in Star Wars. But I can say Rebels is my favorite animated Star Wars show. It would be my favorite Star Wars show, period, but Andor is so damn good. However, I do think it's a show that kind of peaks in season 2, but I love like the Ahsoka and Vader stuff they do in season 2. And there's like a lot of good stuff in season 3 and 4. I think it never gets back that good, but I'm always hyped to watch season 2 of Rebels, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. But I like the rest of it a lot. I like the stuff that goes down with Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Maul. That's one of my favorite scenes in all of Star Wars. To me, that was kind of like the prequel trilogy defeating the original trilogy.
Yeah.
But I mean, Rebels is that like Rebels versus Empire part of Star Wars that I love the most. and I really like those characters. I like that we get more Rex from Clone Wars. You know, one of my favorite Clone Wars characters, more Ahsoka, and of course Chopper, my favorite
yeah.
Rebels character, and one of my favorite Star Wars characters of all time. And the Ghost ship, I think, is so. I actually like.
yeah.
I like the Ghost more than the Millennium Falcon. I would rather have a toy of the Ghost than a toy of the Millennium Falcon.
Wow, that's
There's,
big.
There's a toy of the Ghost. I forgot what they call it, like the micro squadrons or whatever the Hasbro toy line is now for ships.
I don't know.
But there's like the local Walmart by here. I like to walk in there and just like look at the toy Ghost ship. But
Yeah, I think there's a lot to look forward to with Rebels for sure.
Yeah, so really, really hyped for, and just bouncing back and forth between Rebels and Andor, my two favoritist.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna be the high point of this project for me.
Well, it'll be cool, like seeing all of our characters end up at Yavin, right? Like, Organa and Mon Mothma both end up, but they're in Rebels and Andor, right? So we kind of like watch them end up where they get.
Yeah, so we'll watch like the episode of Andor with Mon Mothma, and then watch a Rebels episode with Mon Mothma after that.
Yeah.
And and eventually, we get like the Rebels characters at Yavin. Even though we're not supposed to spoil the shows, but I guess we will. I don't know. Maybe we should just give up on the no spoiler thing. But please don't spoil Skeleton Crew for us. I know that's unfair, but
we make the
sorry. Yeah. But yeah, we get everyone to Yavin, and then we get a movie partially set at Yavin called Rogue One, the 2016 Star Wars film set in the year 1 BBY, but it's like right on the cusp of the BBY event.
Yeah.
Rogue One. What are you looking forward to rewatching Rogue One?
I love this movie. I think I think it might be. I always forget that this is a movie though in Star Wars. Like, I don't think about it as like a Star Wars movie. I think about it as like a really long episode.
An episode of what?
I don't know. Like
like what show?
I don't know. Like it's hard for me to.
I mean, it would kind of feel like an episode of Andor now, I guess.
Yeah, but I really love Jyn Erso. I think it's. I don't know, and her and what's his name? Cassian. I always want to say Calrissian.
It's similar.
It is too similar for my little tongue to be getting that right. But their dynamic is really fun, and K2. I'm really bad with all the names in these shows because I haven't seen it very much. But I think that the Rogue One movie.
Are you talking about the droid?
Yeah. K2SO.
Yeah.
Is that right? But I really love just the story of Rogue One. Like, I love it being a tragedy. I think this, like, impending... I don't know, like, when she's saying, like, we'll keep taking the next shot, like, and then the next one, and then the next one. Like, we just keep pushing, and, like, I don't know. And coming from where she starts in the movie, like, the character growth is just so good. For both her, for Jyn, what?
So from my anti-fascist perspective, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm excited for that too, because what you're witnessing is her radicalization.
Yeah.
And that is kind of the way that revolutionaries work. It's something that I think about, like all of the people who worked tirelessly to abolish slavery, and how. Kind of the messed up thing about history is, like, a lot of people like to give like white people credit for that. Like Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. It was like there were a lot of black people working really hard to make that happen. A lot of people didn't live to see it happen, but it was just like any kind of like revolution or movement. And this is this big collective effort, and I love that. I love that about like the rebellion versus the empire and that being a part of it. But it's like, yeah, you just have to like. Almost think about it as like, you're just like, you have like this great destination to get to, but in order to get there, y'all have to just like lay each stone on the road there, and it's just like that uphill battle. But with enough people united together, you get there. Mm-hmm. And it's a cool thing to see in that show. It's something, especially watching Andor and Rebels on the build up to Rogue One.
Yeah,
and like especially Andor, but yeah, just. everything that they had to go through to get the Death Star plans, and then like that's gonna make it feel like a fucking worthy event to like redo the naming convention of your calendar years to go from 1 BBY to 0 ABY. That's when we get to the original trilogy. Notice that in our spreadsheet, people who can see it on screen, that I actually like labeled this as Star Wars and not A New Hope. But yeah, the original trilogy, starting with Star Wars. Taylor, let's go through each of these, and what's something that you are excited to see in the 1977 A New Hope Star Wars movie?
I like the matte paintings and the models. I'm excited to see that in 4K. I think this might be the first time.
Well, we're not going to see it in. We're going to watch my despecialized
but
edition
on the big,
Blu-ray
big
that
movie. Yeah,
unfortunately is only in 720p. Well, we might get Project 4K or Project 4K 77, I think is what it's called. I've always wanted to be able to watch it that way, but I've never gotten around to it. But maybe we'll do
anyways,
that.
bigger. This might be like one of the biggest screens I've seen it on. Honestly, like your TV is bigger than any TV I've had.
A 65-inch OLED right next to us that the movies look pretty damn good on.
I've never seen these in theater at all. So when they release next year, I want to go see it. Obviously, we're going to see them.
Yeah,
but
I think they're just doing this one. They're just doing the first one next year. So I wonder if they're going to make us like wait every
2 years.
It might be every 3 years if they're doing it for like the 50th anniversary for each one.
Oh. Well, we're having a tangent. Come back, come back. Okay, A New Hope. What are we excited to see? Oh, I said matte paintings.
Yeah, I'm going to say Luke and the Death Star. But I love that trench run sequence. Like, Taylor has like watched me like cry watching that.
Yeah.
Like, but like the way that they can make that movie feel so hopeless. With Vader, like, I have you now. And then when you get Han coming in, and you're all clear, kid, and let's blow this thing and go home. And especially if you're thinking about, like, everything in Andor and Rogue One building up to this moment.
It's that same thing in Rogue One. We take the next step and then the next step until you're out of steps. Like, it just keeps doing that.
So then The Empire Strikes Back, considered by many the greatest Star Wars film ever made. What are we excited to see when we rewatch The Empire Strikes Back?
I'm excited for the AT-ATs. I think they're cool as hell.
You mentioned that earlier.
I think they're so cool. They're scary and like menacing and huge, and I love when they trip them. Like, I think that is like my favorite part. I don't know. I'm excited to see this.
Well, I know you're not as excited for the swamp scenes with Yoda.
No.
I'm really excited to see those. I really like the kind of the philosophical stuff we get there. The great warrior, war doesn't make one great kind of stuff.
I'm not sure if I should slip my hot take in or not.
I know that you don't like Yoda, which is I think is a very hot take. But,
he's weird.
Yeah, he's too close to talking animal. He's thrilled with talking animals sometimes.
I don't really like him in Clone Wars stuff either. Like, I honestly think he might be worse than the prequels. Now I'm tangenting again.
No, he's definitely worse than the prequels.
Yeah,
but he's great in The Empire Strikes Back.
But yeah, like the part that cracks me.
We're staying positive though.
Okay, my favorite Yoda scene is when Luke is asking Yoda questions and then he just dies because he doesn't want to answer the questions.
He's like, I've had enough of your shit.
Okay, yeah, bye.
But also in Empire Strikes Back, I'm looking forward to, I guess, talking about, like, Luke's arc and just, like, the whole conversation with Vader in Cloud City and the look of the movie. It's the best looking Star Wars movie. The lighting, just, like it is such, like, a modern-looking movie from 1980 that, like, just... I don't know. Today, it's still, like, one of the best... Like, just, like, every shot is, like, watching butter melt. Yeah, we have Lady the Cat also agrees with me, apparently. Yep. Moving on to Return of the Jedi, our final original trilogy movie. We've moved the timeline down to 4 ABY now, 4 years after the Battle of Yavin. What are you looking forward to in Return of the Jedi?
I really like the Endor Moon speeder chase with the stormtroopers.
Oh yeah, that's
That
great.
is all super cool. And I remember being I I don't really like the Ewoks that much. They kind of freak me out also. And they also killed that lady that they give her the dress. But
you don't know that.
They did. They totally ate that lady. Okay, that's going to be a discussion for the movie. Return of the Jedi. They killed that lady. But I really like Leia a lot in that. And I love, her and Luke's revelation and whatever. And they're like in sync, and it feels like all the puzzle pieces are in place, and it's just a good movie. But yeah, I like the indoor stuff a lot.
My favorite parts of that movie are what we get with the second Death Star. Sorry, I think my dog is making some weird noises right under the microphone, so apologies. But if y'all hear any like weird noises like that in the live audience, please let us know so we can react and spare the podcast audience. But the second Death Star, the big battle, that is like such beautiful special effects. Another thing just like is mind blowing that like, man, like they did this in 1983, but just like the Millennium Falcon coming out of that reactor chamber and right before it blows up, all that stuff looks great. But my favoriteest part of Return of the Jedi is what happens in the throne room. Everything there between Luke and Vader, and I guess like the conclusions of their arcs over the three movies is like that's like some really emotional stuff that's gonna make me cry. Mm-hmm. And we're watching the despecialized edition because I don't want to hear Vader scream no, because I think that is dumb as hell and ruins one of the I would say the most important scene in all of Star Wars. But now that we're done with the original trilogy, let's talk about some of the more of the recent stuff, like The Mandalorian.
Yes.
What's something you're looking forward to in The Mandalorian? We're jumping to 9 ABY. I think all this is a 9 ABY, all the way up to like Skeleton Crew. So the 9 ABY stuff, starting with The Mandalorian, and we'll bounce back and forth with Book of Boba Fett. Well, let's talk Mandalorian first.
Yeah. Well, obviously, Baby Yoda is very cute. Grogu.
Everyone loves Grogu.
Yeah. I loved Werner Herzog in this, too. I really love his voice. Like, it's very, like, opposite of Nails on the Chalkboard. But, I love that the episodes are very kind of standalone, like, not like Monster of the Week vibe, but more like Adventure of the Week. I think that's really fun. I think the season 1 is like my favorite season of The Mandalorian.
I think you told me you never watched Samurai Jack. We should watch it at some point. Oh,
I watched it growing up, yeah.
But it kind of reminds me of like Samurai Jack episodes, like that season 1. Like I love that's like we crashed on an ice planet and there's spiders we got to fight. But then like at the end we get out of it. It's just like next week will be something else. Yeah.
They're also like that stoic, like man, quiet nature. You know what I mean? But like badass.
But beautiful action stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, it does kind of like that macho warrior kind of energy to it, but it's done so like beautifully.
Mm-hmm. And the acting for The Mandalorian is so good. Like both I know there's many people that wear the suit, but just
I think it's mainly 3 people, but
that's still many.
Yeah.
It's more than 1 or 2.
We talked to John Wayne's grandson who plays the Mandalorian in most of the shots, except for when it's actually Pedro Pascal or the stunt double. Mm-hmm. But we actually hung out with him on a Starfleet Boy After Dark stream.
Oh, cool.
He's a friend of Sohel's.
Cool. But
so,
all
shout
that
out
to
to
say,
Starfleet Sohel.
Love the micro acting with the helmet. Like you get so many emotions.
Oh yeah, they're so good. All the Mandalorians, they're all like. I wish the Halo TV show could do that.
Yeah, they really upped the bar on like what the expectation is of an actor in a complete suit.
Yeah, and then like I think if you look at like the Breen in Discovery, they're much more like that than like the Breen in say Deep Space Nine. It was it's like you got to like learn how to like act with your helmet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and also like there's some stuff in season 2. I really liked in season 1 when it's just kind of like its own thing, but like season 2 we have like the cool Bo-Katan stuff, and then like that final episode of season 2 blew a lot of people away, and that'll be kind of cool to see again. And then Book of Boba Fett. What's something you're looking forward to in Book of Boba Fett?
I've also only seen this one once. Boba Fett was never really a character I leaned hard into. I guess I really like Finnick. I always forget if it's Shrand or Shand because of Jeffrey Combs' Shrand character. So it must be Shand.
I believe so.
Okay, so Finnick Shand.
Yeah.
I like that character a lot. So I'm excited to see her.
Okay. I kind of think of Boba Fett as from like the original trilogy as like a different character than like the guy who Tamura Morrison plays in the Book of Boba Fett. Like they even like have like a different build, like the Clint Eastwood sounding Boba Fett from the original trilogy before they remastered it. That I grew up with. He's like this like tall, skinny guy. Like they even have like very different builds. And then Tamura Morrison, he's a bit more thick.
Yeah.
And
he's muscular.
And they have like just different personalities. And I kind of feel like The Mandalorian in The Mandalorian is closer to like my old school idea of like this, kind of like this cold bounty hunter. This he's got like spurs when he walks. He's kind of like this like old Western bounty hunter, just kind of like going from like town to town looking for bounties to collect.
It sounds like Cad Bane.
Yeah. I guess it would have been closer to Cad Bane. So, but I enjoy the Book of Boba Fett, I guess, like a little bit more than most people. I thought like the season finale was weak, but it did have like one of the best episodes of The Mandalorian is actually an episode of the Book of Boba Fett. But it's kind of cool to see like Jabba's palace again, and there's a. I like Finnick also. So and I love the sort of the Tusken Raider stuff. It's very Dune.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of like Paul out with the Fremen. They even have like spice in the desert. And then the last two shows, Ahsoka and Skeleton Crew, also in 9 ABY. So we're wrapping up here at the end. Final two, starting with Ahsoka. Taylor, what is something you are looking forward to in watching the show that your favorite character is the title character of?
I love her. I really love the episode where she gets to talk to Anakin again, and they have like their trauma therapy session on the Sky Bridge. In between worlds. I think that's really cool and made me emotional.
How do you think I feel about that part?
Oh, I know you hate it. But I dig it, so.
Yeah, no, good. Like I said, we're staying positive.
Also, I love Hera live action, Hera and Chopper. They crushed those two.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of those live action Rebel characters, and Sabine, and even like Clancy Brown. They bring him back as the Lothal guy. Yeah. So and live action Thrawn. Yeah, all of those Rebel characters in live action. I've only seen Ahsoka the one time when I watched it with you a couple years ago. At this point,
yeah.
So. Looking forward to, and especially after rewatching all this other stuff, we might pick up on some more connections. I think that's one that also, well, I don't know, because the way that where those characters are, like where they physically are, makes me think that I guess it won't have any influence on this new Mandalorian and Grogu movie.
Right,
but some of these other like Boba Fett and maybe, who knows, Skeleton Crew.
Lining them up for the movie.
Yeah, or even just like, I don't know, something like in the background. Kind of like in Rogue One when like Chopper just like rolls by in Rogue One in the hangar. It's like, they could like sneak in something from some of these other things. So maybe it'll pay off to do this big watch. The cat agrees. Skeleton Crew. So this is another show we know nothing about. I guess we know that it takes place in 9 ABY, and I like that the episodes are pretty short. A lot of like 32, 49, 39, 46, 34 minute run times. I like that. So it'll be a quick watch. We're watching a lot of stuff, so when it doesn't take a lot of time, that makes it a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've heard it described as like Goonies in Star Wars.
Okay, I've never seen the Goonies. So
I showed you that movie Monster Squad, kind of like that, but without monsters.
Okay.
But like kids on bikes,
Sure.
So it's like like an 80s kids movie, but in Star Wars.
Oh, it's like Super 8 and Stranger Things.
But I also the premise originally sounded very similar to Star Trek Prodigy. It was like like some kids get on a spaceship and they're like like doing stuff on a space, like the kids are flying a spaceship.
Cool.
But I don't know. I like a lot of like 80s kids movies, so I guess I'm looking forward to seeing if I pick up on any of that stuff in it.
Cool.
So DT says the kids are adorable, especially Neil. Oh, I think I know which character that is. You know, like the Max Rebo blue elephant from Jabba's palace, playing the piano.
Oh yeah, okay.
I think Neil is a little kid, blue elephant.
Okay.
So, so yeah, that would be cool. And then, assuming that we watch all this stuff in time over the next 5 months, Taylor and I will actually get out of the house and go to the theater to see The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out May 22nd this year. We think that's also going to be in the year 9 ABY, but if something else is revealed, I'll update the spreadsheet. There sure is a lot of shit happening in 9 ABY. That's a busy year in the Star Wars universe. But the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, what are you looking forward to seeing in this movie that we were avoiding all the trailers for? And I guess we really actually don't want to speculate about too much. But
Yeah, no.
I guess the only thing we know is the title character, so I'm looking forward to seeing the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right? I mean, what more?
Yeah.
I don't want to make any guesses, but I guess I'm kind of excited to see where Grogu lands Jedi-wise and Jedi training-wise. I know he kind of already, we've seen a lot of that, but I'm curious if that comes back up.
Joel is asking, now that we've reached the bottom of the spreadsheet at 368 entries, so not quite at 400, but you might notice there are some things missing.
Mm-hmm.
Like Joel is pointing out, where is the holiday special on the spreadsheet? Boba Fett's debut.
Right.
I don't know if Taylor and I do all of this and we have a good time and people seem to dig it, we might come back and cover other things. Like, we don't have any of the sequel trilogy stuff on here, so if we make it through all of this before The Mandalorian and Grogu, we might take some time off from Star Wars after that. But it would be fun to, I don't know, maybe try watching Resistance again. We've both tried it before, and neither one of us really dug it. But and watch the sequel trilogy, which we have some different opinions, but also some similar opinions on.
One of our biggest fights.
Really?
I think so. Was about the last one.
Oh, The Last Jedi? No, The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Oh, was it the second one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was the third one.
No, the second
Oh,
one.
no, you're right. It is the second one.
Yeah.
Yes. No, yes, we do have very strong opinions that differ on that one.
Well, it's the best Star Wars movie made since the original trilogy.
I would argue the opposite.
But, anyways, we might get to that stuff at some point in the future. And I don't know, and then like some of the non-canonical stuff like Star Wars Visions, or like, speaking of Samurai Jack, that 2D animated Clone Wars show, which I was a big fan of.
Oh, okay.
Always dug that. So yeah, we can cover some of that other things, but we got to get through this first, and we're doing all this
with the goal in mind.
With a goal in mind.
Yeah.
So, but I guess that does it. I don't know. Is there anything else to say, Taylor?
I mean, I'm excited. I'm kind of trepidatious. It's a very huge elephant we're about to eat.
A huge blue elephant that we're about to eat?
I mean...
Is that how the expression goes? I've never heard of that.
You have one bite of an elephant at a time. You don't know this expression?
No.
Oh. You have to take a bite of the elephant at a time?
I've never bitten an elephant.
Okay. Well, like, it's like a big project, so that is an elephant, and then you do it little by little to eat the elephant. It's like a Shel Silverstein poem, too. Okay. It's fine.
Well, wrapping up, I'll go read some Shel Silverstein? I don't know. That's hard to say. You're cut off, Fatheree.
Yeah. Sorry.
But Jeremiah says he's excited. So thanks everyone in the live audience for coming by for our debut show. I'm calling this episode 0, but we will go ahead and sign off from now. Next thing will be episode 1. Remember, all future streams on the Other Star franchise channel only. And next thing up, we're talking about the Acolyte. So this is it for now. Remember, the Empire is for bootlicker. See, I already messed it up. Remember, the Empire is for bootlickers. Be a rebel, and may the Force be with you.